What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. It's been a pretty long time since I've done a full Red Sox injury roster update, mostly because a lot of the key players that were on that injured list were back to the Red Sox and playing in the regular lineup, i.e. Trevor Story, Christian Arroyo, Kike Hernandez, and then the other guys who had been on the IL were either shut down for the year like Chris Sale, or they slowly made their way back and haven't had a ton of impact. So it didn't seem right to make a full injury update with not a ton of news. However, that changed last night. We got some major news regarding a lot of key players on the Red Sox IL list, and none of it seems to be good. So that's what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about everything that went down yesterday and how it affects the Red Sox and the people on the injured list this year, as well as how this affects the future of the Boston Red Sox, because this does have some implications as to 2023 and beyond. But before we get into that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video. Helps out a ton and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Let's start with the biggest news that we got from yesterday's announcements regarding injuries, and the biggest news we got was regarding Tanner Houck. Now, Tanner Houck had been on the IL since August 9th with a lower back disc issue. This was right around the time the Red Sox took on the Pittsburgh Pirates, if you want a time frame for that. Now, Tanner Houck seemed to be looking like he was progressing pretty well. He didn't need surgery, he didn't need shots in his back for his injury, which is always a good thing. He was throwing from non-elevated surfaces, basically playing catch, and a little bit of an elevated catch where he was throwing some of his pitches from flat surface instead of the mound, and it looked like he may be on track to come back before the season ended. However, yesterday we got some news from Alex Cora that may change that, and that is that Alex Cora announced that the Red Sox may possibly shut down Tanner Houck for the rest of the year. I think that the main reason for this announcement was to just so that they didn't have to rush Tanner Houck back and make sure that he's fully healthy and ready to go. There's really no point in rushing Tanner Houck back at this point because the Red Sox are in the position that they're in, 8 games back, not playing fantastic baseball. The last night's game was absolutely electric. So I can understand why they would think about shutting Tanner Houck down for the rest of the season. It's not like at this point we're going to be making any wild playoff pushes. However, we are feeling the effects of not having Tanner Houck in that bullpen. We've talked about for the last, 4 or 5 series about the Red Sox bullpen and how they just simply haven't been able to come in and have a clean inning after the Red Sox score. It seems like every time the Red Sox score, they come out and they immediately give up runs, and that has been an issue for pretty much the entire year, but it's more of an issue in late innings because you don't have that Tanner Houck type player. But this isn't all bad. There is an opportunity here to bring up one of the guys that I think most people have wanted up for a while now, and that's Frank Germain, who's been fantastic in the minor leagues. He's been the Worcester Woo Sox closer. He's been one of their most reliable closers this year. So if Tanner Houck gets shut down for the rest of the season, there is an opportunity to see Frank Germain at the major league level, and to me this makes a lot of sense. You already have a lot of bullpen arms who are grinded basically to a nub, i.e. John Schreiber. Garrett Whitlock's been struggling a lot lately. So let's see what we got in the minor leagues. If Tanner Houck gets shut down for the rest of the year, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Frank Germain makes his way up. Even if Tanner Houck doesn't get shut down for the rest of the year, there's a strong likelihood that he's not going to play the rest of the year, regardless of whether or not he's told he can or can't. So in my opinion, either way, you should be looking at bringing Frank Germain up to at least see what we have in the minor leagues. So while Tanner Houck's injury sucks and has definitely affected this Red Sox bullpen, there is an opportunity here to see one of the guys that everyone has been trying to get to the major league level for a while now. The next update is with our newly acquired first baseman, Eric Hosmer. Eric Hosmer went onto the IL August 23rd with lower back inflammation. Again, kind of a back injury like Tanner Houck. And once again, like Tanner Houck, it looked like he was progressing okay. He was swinging off a tease and soft toss, and he was trying to make a rehab appearance as soon as August 29th. Unfortunately, that never happened, and Alex Cora announced yesterday as well that he has been halted in his efforts to come back, mostly because he's still feeling a lot of pain in his lower back, and that's causing him to have issues with his swing, so the Red Sox shut him down for a while. Unlike Tanner Houck, there was no mention of him being stopped for the rest of the year, so there is a likelihood that Eric Hosmer comes back sometime before the end of the year, but that likelihood is getting smaller and smaller by the day, and it's more and more likely that he will be out at least to the end of September, if not for the rest of the year. In my opinion, this once again is another opportunity, a golden opportunity in my opinion. The Red Sox have been wanting a legitimate first baseman for a while. They got Eric Hosmer, and he's he's been pretty decent. Defensively, he's been great, but offensively, he's only hitting .225 with 4 RBIs for the Red Sox, and this could be the opportunity to see one of our top prospects make their first major league debut in Tristan Casas. Now, Casas, everyone wants Casas up at this point, right? He hit another home run last night. He's been on absolute fire for the Woo Sox. He's one of our top prospects, and he seems to be the solution long-term to our first base problem. Eric Hosmer being out seems like the perfect time to get Casas up here and see what he can do at a major league level. There isn't a ton of pressure. We're not making a huge playoff push. This could be the perfect time to see Casas make his major league debut. However, everything the Red Sox have said about Casas, both Alex Cora and the front office, makes it seem as though they don't want Tristan Casas to be pushed up too early, even though in my opinion this wouldn't be too early. But for the front office and Alex Cora, it seems like it's too early for Casas. So I don't really know if Casas will be brought up at all this year, to be honest with you at this point. With Eric Hosmer going down, this could be the opportunity to see that happen. The last guy on this list is Nate Eovaldi, who went onto the IL with right shoulder inflammation the same day that they sent Eric Hosmer to the IL as well on August 23rd. Again, like everyone else, he seemed to be progressing pretty well. He was throwing from the mound, he threw a couple of bullpens, but again, like everyone else, his progress has slowed a lot. But unlike the other two, there was really no timetable on Nate Eovaldi, not that I could find at least. There was nothing that was saying, hey, we're going to try and get him back here and here and here, and it seems as though Nate Eovaldi will be back at some point this year, but the exact date and time that might happen is still kind of unknown. My best guess is that you're looking at not having Nate Eovaldi for at least another 2 weeks. Unlike the other two though, this doesn't really open a ton of doors for a ton of prospects. There are guys that we could bring up in his place, but at the same time too, there's no one that's like, yes, we need to get this guy up. This could be our opportunity to do so. The only thing this really does is affect Nate Eovaldi's free agency stock. There was already questions as to Nate Eovaldi's long-term success as a starting pitcher because of some of his performances this year, but with 2 IL stints this year now on top of that, that stock is dropping more than ever, and that's going to be a problem for Nate Eovaldi in free agency, and it could lead to him getting a lower deal, possibly on the Red Sox, possibly not. But either way, that is affecting Nate Eovaldi, and obviously not having Nate Eovaldi in this rotation, regardless of what Nate Eovaldi you're getting, hurts the Red Sox in 2022 and beyond. So Nate Eovaldi going down, definitely a problem, especially because there's no real opportunities there with Nate Eovaldi. Now, all in all, I wish I had some better news for you guys, but of course this is the 2022 Red Sox, so of course these injuries are going to take longer than they were supposed to. Of course these injuries are going to have injuries on top of injuries. It just makes sense for this 2022 season. The good news is though, there could be some opportunity hidden within these injuries, and I hope that the Red Sox take advantage of this. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think of all these injuries? What do you think of the opportunities that could arise from these injuries? And what do you think of these guys in general? Are you still in on Tanner Houck? Do you want Eric Hosmer here next year? What are your thoughts on re-signing Nate Eovaldi? Let me know all your thoughts down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button. You made it to the end. We talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Make sure you guys hit that button. Also, make sure you guys hit the like button as well. Helps out a ton, would mean a lot to me. One more thing, if you really enjoy this video, share with a friend or family member who isn't caught up and up to date on Red Sox injuries, because that would mean a whole lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.